Hey, welcome to Josh's channel. Every time. I do it every time.
One of the things I wanted to know, as you guys all have been aware of, when it comes to MagicCon Chicago, I wanted to get a feel for the Magic community, what we, the players, are spending our hard-earned money on, and what the store owners...
Would you call yourself an enthusiast?
Might be successful or might not be, are selling. So I brought the foremost expert on YouTube, Louis from Kitchen Table TCG, owner of GameGrove.gg.
Wow, you didn't make the joke.
No, dude, I got your back, to give some input and share some thoughts on the state of Magic the Gathering as both a collectible and a thing that we are playing with. So Louis, welcome to the channel. Is this your first time on Hometown TCG?
Is it?
No, not at all.
What was the previous?
We had a whole podcast.
Oh yeah, we switched back and forth.
Yeah, we did an interview.
Yeah, I totally won that debate on the May the Zoo Be With You being your son on.
So the reason I got you on is
we gotta bring that podcast back.
We really do. It was a fun podcast. Yeah. But keeping on focus, because we don't have 25 minutes, because we're a normal YouTube channel over here, I wanted to ask you, were you surprised by the portion of people in the room buying vintage Magic versus the people we saw buying what you consider Commander staples or modern Magic the Gathering, even blingy modern Magic the Gathering?
I don't think I was surprised by it. I personally am surprised when people want to spend more money on modern cards, right? Like your One Ring is a perfect example.
Yeah.
I think the One Ring was the most purchased and sold card in this room. The number of copies of the One Ring, every vendor was trying to buy the One Ring.
It's up there. Shieldred was up there too, but it's a little more. I think it's a little more expensive.
Well, it's way harder to get.
Yeah, true, fair.
I mean, think about all the bundles, and the thing I got most wrong on the podcast ever in the history of the podcast was saying that the One Ring would never be more than a $10 card because it was in every single bundle, and there's never been a bundle card that's been more than 50 cents. And so the buy lists in this room were wild for the One Ring because whatever. But people, I think, look at vintage Magic, like revised duels, as your first purchase as a collectible thing.
Sure.
And then they see anything beyond that as unobtainable.
I think that's fair, and I think there's also another dynamic to that. When it comes to watching people walk around the con, walk to these vendors, and actually pull cash out of their pockets and put it on a table for Magic. And as people who come on YouTube videos and our various channels, and we talk constantly about the successes and the failures of Wizards of the Coast and how things are going, it's wild to see. I don't want to call it an asset, but something that we have been very negative on. Collectible, new, blingy Magic. Fetching not only the price that it was fetching, but the attention. And you alluded to that a little bit with the cards that people were buying, but the depth goes deeper than just kind of their collectibles. And you mentioned duels. I want to bring this thing circle back to those duels. And it just is, playable cards. And people are looking to scratch that itch and grab cards they're putting in their commander deck, playable cards, but collectible versions of those. We've often called it blinging out your commander deck, but that's kind of their first taste of that collectability, and they still get to satisfy their need to play commander, essentially.
Well, in a room like this, too, people saying, I'm going to overspend on something that I typically wouldn't buy to have that special card in my deck that represents this weekend. So that when I play that commander and I get to the not serialized. Nobody's buying serialized cards other than Josh. He's the only person in the room buying serialized.
Make sure you hit subscribe. I have a whole story on serialized cards and why I am 100% right.
But your special versions of the counter spell from this weekend's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Like your special versions of the Ponder, right, are because they want to open their play a commander deck and remember MagicCon.
Right.
So I think there is an overspending here. But maybe that jump starts more of maybe events like this and the lack of events like this over the last 3 years have caused a lack of new collectors, and more cons like this could create more of an environment where people want to get your next blingy deck, or oh man, I spent $50 on a card and I've never spent more than $50 on a card. Now I'm ready.
Those days.
Now I'm ready to spend $100 on a card.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I got my first reserve list card. Now I care about that, and I think there's there are scenarios where people grow into that because of cons like this.
You could tell me that story. I do think that something we miss out on is what you just said, that story. I have this counterspell is from MagicCon Chicago 2024. Every time I play it, I'm going to think about it. Well, guess what? That is the basis. That's the backbone for what we consider collectability in Magic, in my opinion. That is what will grow, and this thing becoming iconic in our community, becoming iconic with a subset of Magic players, growing its popularity, and then time passing creates collectibles. So I'm going to propose this, and this is, if you stayed around this long for the video and you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, Kitchen Table TCG, go do that. But second of all, you get a little secret intel here. I think that this is what's going to kickstart modern Magic. Things like this is going to kickstart modern Magic collectability. Something we said could never happen. I do, with how these people are spending their money, the cards people are buying, there's an opportunity that there is a new era of collectors born from Magic today.
So, I don't disagree with that. I think it makes it, I think like what we talked about with the Soul Ring makes it really hard.
For sure.
Because there will always be...
It's going to be different. It's not going to be collectability as you and I know, one version of stuff. It's going to be different, but it will exist.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that they can figure out how to turn people to care about Magic's history and not just care about the next flashy thing. Because like right now it feels like with the Soul Ring scenario where you had like the Masterpiece Soul Ring was this, desired card that everybody wanted, and then they printed Soul Ring as a Lord of the Rings serialized card, and it's kind of replaced that. And we were talking about the price of the Soul Ring, the Masterpiece, is cratered because like people don't see it as the most flashy variant. I hope that they can do something to create collectability that honors the previous versions of things. It causes people to care about the past.
100%. It's not, the system's not perfect, and I don't think the way it exists right now, if it were to go like this in perpetuity, will work. Yeah. But there are changes that are constantly being made, things that are being tried, and that to me shows like there's at least some attention to be paid to this. Now, since it's my channel, I'm going to take the last word right out of your mouth, which is your favorite thing in the world, not getting to rebuttal something. I love this moment more than that Chinese food, probably.
No, probably not.
Probably not. That Chinese food was real good. I do think that what you just mentioned, pulling someone back to Magic history, right? You hope that they respect that, hope they lean into collectability as it pertains to Magic's past. This is going to be the new train for collectors. So we're seeing collectors coming, we're seeing people bringing out their commander decks, getting these memorabilia at this con, and I firmly believe, I've said this on the channel before, I really believe that we are going to transition those players into the vintage Magic collectability. They're going to get their taste of collectibles, they're going to fall in love with it, they're going to play those collectibles, and like you alluded to, I spent $50 at this con, I spent $100 at this con, now it's $200, and sooner or later, you naturally find yourself in the position where, well, you want something from Magic's history. You've been playing the game for 3, 4, 5 years now. You got to get something cool in your hands. That's just my opinion. What do I know? What I really want to know is what you guys think in the comment section below. And what I really want to do is remind you that this is going to bug him. This conversation, he's going to rebuttal when the camera turns off. He wants to say something right now. I cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Again, subscribe over to Kitchen Table TCG. Hit the sub button down below. Make sure you like and share this video, because if you haven't shared a Hometown TCG video, there's never been a better time than right now. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh.
I'm Louie.
And we'll see you around. But what I really think...